Welcome to Creative Genius Labs. I'm your host, Zane Wild. Today, on Creative Genius Labs, what if the very thing you fear most could unlock your greatest potential? Today, we explore how a near-death experience transformed a detached observer into a cultural icon, and how embracing your own vulnerabilities can be the key to leaving an unforgettable mark on the world. The words hang in the sterile hospital air of New York Hospital in 1987, where Andy Warhol lies unconscious after routine gallbladder surgery. The steady beep of monitors provides an ironic backbeat to the life of a man who transformed how we see art, fame, and reality itself. In moments, that beep will flatline, ending the story of America's most influential artist. But to understand why his final words matter to you, we need to go back to another hospital room, where a young boy named Andy Warhol first learned to watch the world. Pittsburgh, 1932. 8-year-old Andy lies in his childhood bed, his body betraying him with the involuntary spasms of Sydenham's career. Through his window, he watches other children play, their movements fluid and free. His mother, Julia, a Ukrainian immigrant with an artist's soul, sits beside him. She hands him paper and pencils, teaching him to draw what he sees. This isn't just a mother comforting her sick child. It's the birth of a revolutionary way of seeing. But in that bedroom, something profound was taking shape. Unable to participate in the world directly, he learned to observe it with extraordinary intensity. Every detail, every movement, every flash of color became part of his visual vocabulary. His illness forced him to become a watcher, creating a distance between himself and life that would both torment and empower him. The bullying started as soon as he returned to school. His pale skin, his nose he hated so much, his twitching movements all marked him as different. But instead of trying to fit in, young Andy did something remarkable. He turned his outsider status into a lens, developing what he called his deeply superficial personality. It wasn't an escape. It was a transformation of pain into perspective. You might recognize this moment, that instant when you realize your greatest weakness could become your unique strength. For Andy, watching became an art form. His blotted line technique, developed in college, literally transformed the act of observation into something new. He would draw an image, press paper against it while the ink was wet, creating a copy that was both precise and imperfect, just like his view of the world. Fast forward to 1962. The factory, Andy's silver-foiled studio in Manhattan, hums with creative energy. This isn't just an artist's workspace. It's a deliberate experiment in watching and being watched. Celebrities mingle with drag queens, artists with addicts. Everyone is both observer and observed. The walls are covered in silver foil, turning the whole space into a mirror. You can't tell if you're watching or being watched. This is where Andy begins his most radical transformation. He takes commercial silkscreen printing, a technique meant for mass production, and turns it into fine art. Campbell's soup can become icons. Marilyn Monroe's face, repeated in endless variations, becomes a meditation on fame and mortality. He's not just making art, he's challenging how we see everything. If you're enjoying Creative Genius Labs, please like, subscribe, and scan the QR code for our free 7-day email course, The Master Creators Challenge. Unlock hacks that make Da Vinci, Banksy, and Lady Gaga creative giants. Now, back to the episode. But watching comes with risks. On June 3, 1968, Valerie Solanas steps into the factory elevator with Andy. She's been orbiting his world, demanding attention, insisting he read her manifesto. 3 shots ring out. Andy collapses. During the 5-hour surgery that follows, he is technically dead for several minutes. When he returns to life, everything has changed. The distance he had carefully cultivated between himself and life had been violently shattered. The surgical corset he would wear for the rest of his life became a constant reminder: you can't just observe forever. Eventually, life demands participation. The post-shooting Warhol was different. His art became more personal, more engaged. He collaborated with younger artists like Jean Mitchell Basquiat, bridging generations instead of just documenting them. It wasn't just an observation anymore. It was a warning about the price of fame, the cost of being seen. He began his Death and Disaster series, examining car crashes, electric chairs, and other media sensations. But now these weren't just images to be reproduced. They were meditations on mortality, on the thin line between watching life and losing it. The observer had become the philosopher. Which brings us back to that hospital room in 1987. Andy Warhol, the man who transformed how we see art, celebrity, and culture, dies from a routine gallbladder surgery. The irony isn't lost on anyone. The man who made the ordinary extraordinary succumbs to the most ordinary of complications. But here's what matters for you. Andy Warhol's journey from observer to participant wasn't just about art. It was about the fundamental choice we all face. Do we watch life or do we live it? Do we maintain safe distance or do we risk engagement? This wasn't just artistic advice. It was a challenge to all of us who stand at the edges of our own lives, watching, waiting, wondering if we should step in. Your insecurities, your differences, your unique way of seeing the world, these aren't barriers to participation. They're your tools for transformation. Just as Warhol turned his outsider status into a revolution in art, you have the power to transform your perspective into action. The question isn't whether you'll have your 15 minutes of fame. The question is, will you spend your life watching television, or will you step into the frame and change what's on the screen? The world doesn't need more observers. It needs participants who see things differently and aren't afraid to show us how. Remember, Andy Warhol didn't just predict the future, he created it. And now it's your turn to stop watching and start creating the change you want to see. Because in the end, the most powerful art isn't hanging on a wall. It's the life you dare to live when you finally step out of the audience and onto the stage. On the next episode of Creative Genius Labs, Andy Warhol's story is a testament to transformation, a reinvention of self against the backdrop of a rapidly changing world. But what happens when the world itself seems determined to silence a singular artistic voice? Imagine a young man, exiled not by choice, but by the sheer force of his own revolutionary vision, battling censorship and physical limitations just to be heard. What if I told you that his unwavering commitment to his art would defy societal norms and reshape literature forever? Next, we explore the life of a literary giant who, like Warhol, fearlessly challenged convention and left an indelible mark on the world. Next week, we delve into the world of visionary writers and literary innovators. These are the artists who didn't just write stories, they reshaped how we understand language, narrative, and the very fabric of reality. Our next story perfectly encapsulates this theme, showcasing a writer who risked everything to bring his unique vision to life. Please like, subscribe, and scan the QR code or follow the pinned link to get our free 7-day email course, The Master Creators Challenge. 7 days, 7 creative legends. Unlock your inner creative genius using the secret tactics of history's most revolutionary artists. Click the video that just popped up to watch the next one in this series. Or for episode summaries, behind-the-scenes info, and more, go to daily8.com/CGL. Thanks for watching.